Let's talk about NATO summit in Hague. A summit that was supposed to reaffirm unity, but instead expose the transatlantic faulty line. That's right. Over 70% of West Europeans now believe that America is no longer a reliable guarantor of their security. And as just the summit wrapped up, President Donald Trump threw the gasoline on fire, casting doubts on the very foundation of NATO, Article 5, the Mutual Defense Clause. Buckle up, man, because there's a lot to talk about, there's a lot to cover, and this story is here to stay. So let's get started with the numbers, of course. The Eurasia Group, Institution of Global Affairs, surveyed 3,360 people across UK, Germany, France, and the United States. And the results, they're not looking good. Only 6% of West Europeans see the United States as a very reliable security partner for the next decade. 46% say the United States is somewhat reliable. Now 36% say somewhat unreliable. 10% say the United States is not reliable at all. Now, if you look at the overall number, that's over 70% expressing doubt, and the skepticism is sharpened in France and Germany, where half of respondents say the United States is unreliable. Now let's talk about that moment that sent shockwave through the summit. On the way to The Hague, President Donald Trump told reporters about Article 5 if he was gonna protect it. Here's a video I want you to watch.
Are you still committed to Article 5 of NATO?
Depends on your definition. There's numerous definitions of Article 5. You know that, right?
That's the clause that says an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all. That's the bedrock of the alliance, and Trump just threw it away. Later on, he tried to walk back what he said, and I'm quoting, "We are with them all the way." That's what he said, end quote. But the damage is already done. European leaders were rattled. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte scrambled to reassure all the allies that this is still a thing. And he said this, I'm quoting, "There is absolutely clarity that the United States is totally committed to NATO and totally committed to Article 5. I mean, why does he have to say that? Why can't the United States president just say that themselves? So what happens when the world's biggest military power starts hedging his bets? Well, here's what happened. NATO also starts hedging his bets. Maybe I should say Europeans start hedging their bets. Because here's what just happened. NATO member has agreed to raise defense spending to 5% of their GDP by 2035. That's a massive jump from where there was 2%. Leaders from countries like Germany and the UK are pledging to build a stronger national forces. France and Britain have now just coordinated a nuclear deterrent for the first time in history. This is Europe saying we are not outsourcing our survival anymore. They are not waiting on Trump or the United States to come to help them out anymore. Now, this move from Trump is not surprising because Trump has always had a transactional relationship with NATO. Pay up or don't expect protection. That's his relationship. He's been saying this over time. And one time he even said he would encourage Russia to do whatever heck they want to NATO member if those guys don't pay up or don't meet the spending budget.
Yeah, NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. Well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to.
Now he's demanding 5% GDP, a figure that many countries say is unreliable. Spain has already refused. Belgium and Slovakia are already waving. So what's the message here? Well, the message is simple. Security is for sale. And if you can't afford it, don't expect it. This summit was supposed to be a show of unity. Instead, it revealed few things. One is doubts about United States reliability. Second, divergent views on Ukraine. with Trump pushing for sentiment while Europeans want to continue to support Ukraine. That's another one. And the last one is a shift towards European defense with talks about European pillar inside NATO. Even NATO's own Secretary General admitted, and I'm quoting, here's what he said: Europe should work on assumption that the burden of defending Europe will fall predominantly on their shoulders. Here's what leaders are saying. Even Poland says Article 5 is clear. There's no discussion. That's what Poland is saying. Finland's president's also saying, we are witnessing the birth of a new NATO, a more balanced and more European. That's what they're all saying now.
I think we're witnessing the birth of a new NATO, which means a more balanced NATO and a NATO which has more European responsibility. Remember, this is a big win, I think, for both President Trump, and I think it's also a big win for Europe.
Now Denmark's MP are calling for time to rebuild. Disarmament has gone too long. It's time to rebuild. That's what he's saying. But behind the scenes, there's this fear. The fear that Trump unpredictably could leave Europe exposed. This is not just about NATO, the summit. No, it's about 46 years of alliance facing its biggest identity crisis yet. It's about trust that's fading away. It's about commitment that's waving away as well. And it's about Europe waking up to a new reality check. That America might not be there when the sirens start going off. This is Baraka and you've been watching Newsroom. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe.